So this video is going to be the first in a series of videos that I attempt to give my ideas on how you can fix the tanks currently to be up to the level of what a prot warrior is currently. Because as it stands, prot warrior is beyond every other tank by a mile, even after their light nerfs and the other tanks buffs. Just a little background, been playing tanks since Mr. Pandaria pretty much exclusively, and I have all the tanks at 70, somewhere around 380 to 390 item level. I've just been going back and forth between them, hoping that some get some buffs to be propped up to the level of warrior. Today we're going to be going over Bear Druid, which has historically really been the pretty much meh tank out of the bunch. It's never, except a few seasons, it's never been like super good. It's always just been like the go-to tank for like new players because it's always been pretty easy. Their mastery has a good synergy with not having to really worry about your character because you're kind of like a big meat bag. Well, in Dragonflight, things kind of changed, and let's go over this. So, Bear Druid currently stands at the worst of all the tanks in Mythic Plus for rankings. This is due to a lot of factors, mainly being their survivability. Now, if we look back at Dragonflight in the beta, I was in the beta since about 4 days after it opened, and I was checking out all the tanks. I was mainly playing Vengeance Demon Hunter because I loved the changes of that class before they reverted a lot of it. And Guardian Druid never got any changes on very minor changes on the beta. From the days that we were testing to the very end, people were saying, hey, Guardian Druid is doing like half the DPS of any other tank. They are super squishy. We need some help. It fell on deaf ears. Like, all that happened was about a week and a half, maybe possibly 2 weeks before Dragonflight came out, they just gave a 50% buff to all damage that a bear does. That's it. They're just like, here, have 50% more damage. And we were like, okay, that's cool. And so we all went to the Laser Bear Druid and did tons of damage, and it was awesome. Now, also keep in mind that with our Shadowlands legendaries and set bonuses and all this stuff, like, we were doing good. Like, Guardian Druid was doing very well, doing tons of DPS, very tanky, and they were regarded as one of the best tanks going into Dragonflight. Well, a couple days before Dragonflight released, they're just like, yeah, you know what? Warriors are so tanky, we're just going to blanket 10% DR nerf every single tank in the game. And Druid became squishier. Now, Druid was still good once we got up to Mythic Zeros before Mythic Plus was released. We were doing pretty dang good. Not the tankiest, but still pumping out damage and all this stuff. And you get healed for 10% of your arcane damage. So your arcane damage is about 50% of your DPS. And Mythic Zeros, you're doing, 20k DPS on a bear. So you're doing 10k damage. That's 1,000 HPS just from your Moonfire on targets. Like, that's pretty good. And you roll it around to, if you check your AoE DPS, like, your Moonfire damage is like 80% of your damage on. So we're looking at more of like 3k to 4k HPS in Mythic Zeros when you're taking like double that maybe. So your healing is really good in those low dungeons. Start getting higher and higher and higher in the dungeons, and you start getting, you're doing like 35k, 40k DPS as a bear top end, and now the enemies are, doing triple the damage. That little tiny amount that you're healing back is just negligible. So let's stop with the rant, and how do we fix Bear Druids from being so squishy in dungeons in Mythic Plus? Well, first of all, magic mitigation. Bear Druids have no magic mitigation other than like the base cooldowns they have, like survival instincts and all that stuff. They need actual magic mitigation. So they removed Mark of Ursol when like in 7 point something. I don't even remember, but yeah, that used to be their magic mitigation on command, and it was freaking awesome. It was like 30% magic mitigation. It was great. Now that they don't have that, they have absolutely no magic mitigation, and there's so much magic damage in Dragonflight, and almost a good 75% of all the tank busters are magic damage. So what I think that we should do to fix this is to have Iron Fur have a 5% mitigation for magic mitigation baked into it. So you use 1 stack of Iron Fur, that's 5% magic mitigation. 2 stacks, 10%. 3 stacks, 15%, etc. But make it scale up as armor does. So, you know, if you have 3 stacks of Iron Fur, you get 15%. But if you have 10 stacks, you don't have 100%, you know, or 50% or whatever. You know, make it scale up, whatever that is, logarithmically. I don't even know. I don't know math, but yeah, scale up like that. So that would help. That's really, really easy. Just one little fix. And then the other real big fix that I would do is just fix bear mastery. That's all you got to do. Like, make it so it actually matters again. Like, buff it like by like 35, 40% if you have to. Like, bears used to have the most HP out of any tank. And then the other part of the mastery is increase the healing that you do. You're just big old meat bags, and that was the identity of a Guardian Druid. Now they don't have any identity whatsoever. Like, Guardian Druid is just like this mismatch of all. It's like a mixed match of just random abilities from different tanks, and they tried to make it into one. That failed, so they're just trying to like run off with these ideas that make no sense, and like just make us meat bags again. That was fine. That was the one thing that Druid, like, you knew had. You got a Druid in your party, and you know, like, that dude is gonna, maybe he doesn't have like all this fancy stuff that other tanks can do, like AMZ or grips or like Ring of Peace, or like he can't bubble you or like all this stuff, but a bear druid is not going to fall over. It's a fat tank. He can pull big and just let things wail on you. And I also think that in Shadowlands, they tried to change the identity of bears from being these big meat bags into being 3-minute tanks where you pull around Ursol or Ursoc or whatever, the one where you just become a big ass bear and you can just thrash over and over and over and be invincible pretty much. And that was their identity, which no one liked. No one wanted to do that. Being strong every 3 minutes is not fun. Like, if I want to do that, I'd play a fire mage. But yeah, that's basically the 2 fixes. I really think just those 2 small fixes. And instead of doing those, and all the feedback on the forums are telling Blizzard like what's wrong with Bear, and Blizzard just isn't listening. They're like, the upcoming in 10.0.5 or 10.0.7 patch, they're just increasing Iron Fur's armor. Like, what? Our armor's fine already. Like, the armor is not the problem, dude. We need magic mitigation, and we need our mastery back. Like, that's what we need. And if we don't get those things, we're not going to be tanky. We're not going to be viable in Mythic Plus. Like, I was reading a thread on the official forums today, I'm sure it's still up, about a new simulation craft of damage taken by tanks, and Bear Druid takes almost 50% more damage than any other tank in the sim. You should check it out. It's on the official US forums for Druid. It's ridiculous. But yeah, those are the 2 fixes, in my opinion, that would solve most of Bear's problems. If you guys have any ideas, post them down below. These are the small things that I could fix, because they spent so much time rearranging the talents and adding new talents and changing them around, like giving Bear Druid a heal like the Lunar Beam capstone that like nobody takes because it's so bad that in the update they're gonna buff it by 150% healing, and no one's still gonna take it. Do you not understand the problem with the class? The problem isn't we needed a self-heal ability on a 1.5 minute cooldown to deal with single target bosses. That's like not the problem with Guardian Druid at all. Like, it's like they're changing everything that they possibly can except changing the actual, like, getting to the actual problem of the class itself. And I don't know why. I'm guessing that maybe that they fired, or their druid staff member that was like testing all this stuff left or something, because there's no other answer to like how crazy this is. Like, why even have bear mastery? Like it used to be so good. Why even have it anymore? Like, because now you just tried to stack versatility, and I miss that old mastery meatbag bear druid. Anyways, those are my fixes. We'll keep going down the line of tanks. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week because I hate explosive weeks. So I'm going to get some footage, but God, I hate tanking in explosive weeks. Like, usually I just skip it, but the videos must continue. So, yep. If you like that video, like, subscribe, all that stuff. See you guys in the next one. Peace.